How do I start a simple food business? It is a question that we got emailed about a week ago from a fantastic subscriber we have here at Marketing Food Online. I actually jotted down the 16 questions you need to ask yourself in order to start that simple food business. We're gonna dive into those 16 all the way down to number 1. We're gonna get to it right now. Welcome back to Marketing Food Online. It's Damian Roberti, founder and CEO, and I'm excited to bring you guys the 16 questions that any food entrepreneur, if you're starting a basic business from home, or you want to create a simple food business from scratch and you're not sure exactly what to do about it, one of the most simplest ways to do that actually today is doing it from home, creating a home-based food business. And these 16 questions will help outline your understanding of what you can do and what you can't do, and a few things to help you brainstorm. So if you're brand new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe button because we have videos uploaded every single week with over almost 100,000 subscribers on our channel now. Super excited for you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. And our 3 other brand new channels that we launched specifically dedicated to other types of food entrepreneurship that'll give you even more resources. And of course, our website, podcast, and everything else in between. So let's dive into this number 16 all the way down to number 1. So you want to stay through this entire video. And then at the end of the video, I've got 3 additional free resources I'm going to pop up here on the screen to help you get started. So let's do this. Let's get number 16. What do you want to sell and what can you sell? So the most simplest way to create a food business, believe it or not, is in the comfort of your own home. Many people are now starting to do that as a side hustle and trying to practice and prepare and develop food products that they want to take from home all the way over to retail or even online in an e-commerce setting, which is one of the best places to kind of experiment with a food product. So you want to determine what to actually sell. Now, that will fall under cottage food laws, which of course, as you may or may not know, they dictate the type of food products that you can make from home, but you want to make sure that the product that you're making is allowed. So once you determine what you want to make, you might have to actually change it if it's something that's not on the allowed list, and then create something maybe similar to it, close to it, or even a totally different product. So number 16 is, what can you sell? Number 15, where can you sell it? So a lot of states now also have updated since 2021 and 2022. Many of the cottage food laws throughout the country have become much more flexible with what they allow as far as the venue and the places that those people can sell the products through cottage food laws. Many of them even allow you to sell online and create a website. But keep in mind one thing though, many of these online sales have to have the product shipped within the state. You can't ship it in interstate sales. It has to be within your state's limits. So in order to do that, make sure you find out specifically the other places such as farmers markets, fairs, festivals, or even supermarkets, restaurants. I know in California, depending upon the type of license that you get, you can actually sell a product directly to restaurants for them to use. You sell them to retail stores for them to sell. There's a ton of variations on how to sell the product. So number 15 is actually going to be very important because you want to know where exactly can you sell it. Number 14. Now this is crucial and it's not actually something that's required, but I always recommend doing this, is you need to create an LLC. And here's why. There's a big misconception about cottage food laws that if you create a food product from home and your homeowner's insurance policy that you have, or renter's insurance policy, whatever that may be, it actually protects you already. And Damian, I don't need to create an LLC or have food business insurance because I have a homeowner's insurance policy. Wrong. That does not cover you if you create a packaged food product or any type of food product allowed under cottage food law. It's not going to give you the legal protection that you need. So I highly recommend that you look and create an LLC. Now, did you know that you can actually do this for free? Plus the state filing fees. There's a great link down below in the description section. If you want to take a minute, click on that link and you'll find out more about it. There's a lot of companies online that literally allow you to create it without a fee up front to create the LLC. The only thing that they charge you, of course, they can't get around is the state fee, the state filing fee. So check that out down below, but you can create an LLC in like 10, 15 minutes. It doesn't really take very long, but that is a great way for you to get the protection you need for your business from home, because your homeowner's insurance policy will not cover that. Okay, number 13, next up, similar to LLC, is the food business insurance policy. So yes, you need to get an additional insurance policy, not as a requirement from cottage food laws, but if you don't, you leave yourself open for the potential of creating a product that's going to be consumed and people could potentially get sick. So this is a question that you really need to take seriously, and you need to look into that as well. So if you also need some additional resources, definitely check out down below in the description. We have a ton of other resources on all of these 16 down below. to help you understand them better. So food business insurance policy, and honestly guys, it's not very expensive, but it gives you a huge umbrella of protection. Number 12, allowed foods. So this is something similar to number 16, but the other thing you want to think of is that some foods that you want to make, you're allowed to make them, but they may require additional testing or labeling, or even have to send them away. Things that have high pH levels, if they're salsas, if they're pickles and that type of thing, anything fermented foods, there's certain types of food that you could still make that you're allowed to, but you have to get approval and get signed off on in order for you to have that work. Now, not every state has that. So again, check your state-specific cottage food laws to find out what it is and what's not allowed. Number 11, what is not allowed is just as important as wanting to know what is. Because there is a list, every single state pretty much has a website that has a list of foods that is acceptable and not. But once you also understand what you can make, you also need to know what you can't. The reason why I say that is down the road, if you have a product and you create 2 or 3 items that are allowed, and you might think to yourself, hey, maybe I want to make fermented foods. Check the list of what's not allowed, because a lot of times like fermented foods and things like I just mentioned, salsas and things that are pickled or flavor infused olive oils and these types of products, they're not. So that'll give you a great understanding as to what you can't make, not only what you can make, okay? Number 10 is really, really cool because this is where the low investment concept comes into play. Check out what equipment you need to make the products you want to make. Most likely, you already have most of them. Everything from your ovens to a prep table, like your kitchen table or countertop tables. You have ovens, you have microwaves, you have other equipments for cooking, cookware, bakeware. All of these types of items are mostly found in everyone's home to begin with. So you don't have to make a huge investment in buying more stuff. Now, there might be a certain products or certain packaging or even labels and things of that sort, we'll get to that in a minute, that you may not have on hand. But as far as the big equipment, you pretty much have what you need to get going with. So figure out exactly what type of equipment really makes sense to make the product that you have, and most likely you already have it. Number 9, you need to get a POS system. This is a point of sale system. Now, how does that work? Well, I don't have my cell phone with me here, but if this was a cell phone, there is a POS system that you can actually plug into the bottom of your phones, and you can accept debit cards, credit cards, and other transactions other than cash. The only bad thing about taking just cash is that a lot of customers have transitioned their purchasing to using debit cards or credit cards. And if you don't have any type of technology set up, such as the ability to take a POS transaction, then you're going to miss out on a lot of revenue, and that's kind of silly. There's no reason to do that. So make sure you have a POS system, and that's also very portable, very mobile, that you can take pretty much everywhere you go. You go to farmers markets or special events and such, you'll be able to take payments on pretty much everything that you have available without being cash. Number 8, what is the maximum amount of money that you can sell from home? This is very, very important and something you should definitely stay within the lines, because at the end of the day, when the tax time comes around, if you make a profit through your cottage food business, you do have to pay taxes on that and claim it as income. But if you obviously don't keep track of it and you're not aware of the limits, which most states create a sales limit, that minimizes or maximizes the amount of money that you can sell under cottage food. So if you make more than that, some states, by the way, actually have zero limit. You can sell as much as you want, which is amazing. I think Florida is one of them, and I think California has a very high amount as well. Florida just raised it to $250,000, which is $250,000. That's a lot of money. So make sure you understand the maximum in your state specifically before you start this type of food business. Number 7, there are certain limitations at home as far as the production of the product, who could be in the kitchen, pets, not being able to have pets, you can't smoke. In some states, they don't want you to smoke in the kitchen or wherever you're prepping the food. There are certain limitations in every single state. That is a question you need to get answered and ask yourself. What are the things that I can't do so I can follow the guidelines? The reason being is that if you have a cat or a dog and you've got animals around and you're preparing food for people to buy, there's a good potential that hair and other type of pet dander and things can get into those products. That is something that's kind of gross, actually, and you don't want to happen. A lot of states will allow you to have pets in the home, but just not in the preparation area or the places where you're actually making the product. Number 6, some states will require a water test. Believe it or not, yes, some homes are actually on well water and not a city water. If that is the case, you will have to put money out to actually have the water tested as part of the process to get licensed or permitted, if it's required, to get that cottage food business up and running. So a question you might want to ask is, hey, where are we getting our water from? And if you're not too familiar with it, or if you know that you're obviously on a well, there's a good likelihood that you're going to have your water tested, because every bit of that water that comes in from a well has to wash, sterilize, clean, or even cook with when you prepare products to sell other people. That's something you need to make sure that you're aware of. Number 5, do you need a home inspection? Now, believe it or not, again, most states have updated these laws to be extremely lenient. I know in Florida for a fact, you don't have to have any type of home inspection. There is no business license. There's no license or permit even required. They have certain guidelines though on what you can and cannot make and such, but it's very lenient and you don't necessarily need to have an inspection, which it's my opinion is a little odd, but that's how they want to run it. So make sure you check to see if you need an inspection. And if you do, you need to make sure that when it's inspected, it is clean, immaculate, and is following the guidelines. Otherwise, you will not get your permit. You will not get approved to sell products from home. Number 4, you need to understand the labeling guidelines. Now, yes, believe it or not, you do need to have specific types of labels. Every state has a slight variation on this. Believe it or not, most of them are very similar, but you don't have to have necessarily a nutritional label, which is actually a great thing. They only require, in the most cases, an ingredient label. You need to let your customer know exactly what is in the product as creating a list of ingredients. Now, that doesn't mean you're giving away your recipe. That also doesn't mean you have to have a nutritional analysis, which can be quite expensive. But you do need to have a label on it and make sure that you understand your state's specific guidelines about labeling your products. Number 3, I highly recommend this, and I've told all of the clients through my consulting program, never ever pay up front. When you first start a food business and you need labels, don't pay a company to make them for you. That's ridiculously expensive. And when you're trying to sell a per unit product, like a food or packaged food product, when you can just print your own labels, I highly recommend you make your own labels. And if you don't know how to, on our channel right here, I have literally a dozen videos to show you how to make your own label. So definitely go to the search box above this video, type in marketing food online, making labels, and I will show you about 12 or so videos that we have on how to do that. But always make your own labels, guys. You can make them for anywhere from 8 to about 10 to 12 cents. It depends on the size and a couple other factors, but if you have someone else make them, you're gonna be anywhere from 30 to 40 or 50 cents per label, and that's gonna cut away your profit. Number 2, do you need your home inspection for your specific food product? So now we talked about the inspection before. In some states, believe it or not, they're going to want to see the recipe. They want you to submit that, and they're gonna also check and see how you actually make it. There's actually 2 states that I know of in particular that you have to send the process, which is a little bit extreme in my opinion, but you have to send the process to show how you actually make your homemade food product and the ingredient listing, the recipe, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So double check to see if you're gonna have an inspection for the actual product production, how you make it. Because if that's so, then you have to get all this stuff prepared and made well in advance. Number 1, that brings us up to the most important thing, and this is the one that's overlooked, if you will, for most people who start home-based food business. It's taxes. 2 types. Obviously, sales tax, if your state collects it and requires Cottage Foods to collect it on food sales, you need to make sure you have the right licenses and permits from either the city or county or the state in regards to collecting sales tax. And how do you remit that? How do you actually send that to the state? Understand that process if you have to do that. The second part of that is your income tax. So as a cottage food operator, any profits that you make, you're most likely, I would say 99.9% of the time, have to claim that as income and pay income tax if you happen to have a state that has income tax. So find out specifically from your city or the county on that specific and see if you have to claim that. And if you do have income tax, you need to be aware of that. So these are the 16 most important things when you want to start a simple food business. And today, doing that simple food business is doing it from home. And if you have any other questions about it, check out these videos here. These are some additional resources. And I'll see you guys in the next video.